in Maaser Sheni, Beis Zion. Beis Shammai says one may not convert his sellers into gold dinners, but Beth Hill permits. Rabbi Kiva said, I have converted Beis Camels and Rabbi Shua's money into gold dinners. I think I do this. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
did
right.
this.
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead. That's correct.
One changes Maaser Sheni coins for a seller. Beis Shammai said coins for a wholesaler. But Beis Hillel says one silver shekel and one silver coin are and one silver coins. But Meir says one may not redeem silver and produce with silver, but the sages permit it. And if one changes the seller of Maaser Sheni in Yerushalayim, Beis Shammai says coins for the whole seller, but Beis Hillel says one shekel and one shekel silver and one shekel coins. The liberation before the sages say for 3 dinar silver and for 1 dinar copper coins. The Rekiva says for 3 dinar silver and for a quarter copper coins. The Tarfon says 4 aspers in silver, and Mir Shammai says leave it in the shop and eat all its equivalent.
Okay. Mishnah Yod, Misha Hayu Miktas Banav Tamayan, Umiktasan Torim. So you've got a complicated situation in your family. Everyone's in Yerushalayim for the Chag, and but some of them are Tameh, and what you going to do? You can't untame them magically. They've got to go through whatever Tara they need to go through. And it's time for lunch. Okay, so now what have you got? You've got money that's Maaser Sheni money, and Maaser Sheni has to be consumed by people with tahor.
Mhm.
So what does he do? Maniach is a seller. He puts down his seller on the table. Ve'omer, ma she'hatahorim shosim seller ze mechuleles alav. This will come out of this seller. So I'm redeeming the money as they're drinking it. It's going to be redeemed on the wine that they're drinking. Okay, and therefore, nim ta'u, tahorim ta'u, tamayim shasi mikad echas. So therefore, both of them are allowed to drink from one jug. And let's say this is talking about a jug that's we're talking about a jug that is an earthenware jug, because then the Tame people can touch the outside as well and not affect the inside. And this also only is for people who are tame because of a light tumah, such as tumas keri, or if they're tame mace even. But if they're tame as a zav, then they can't handle the jug, because as soon as they move the jug, everything inside becomes tame because of heset, right? So it only works for those forms of tumah. Okay. Um, לא יאמר אדם לחברו, hal es haperos ha'elu לירושלים לחלק. You cannot say to a person, you see, it says, look, help me, take this produce over here to Jerusalem, and we'll eat it together. Because now that looks like he's using Maaser Sheni as a payment. Okay, you can't
Okay.
do Maaser Sheni as a payment. Ela omer lo, he can say to him in a different way, Ha'alem shenochlam nishtem b'Yerushalayim. Come, let's take the stuff up and drink it in Yerushalayim together. So he's not doing it as a transaction. He's saying, "Come, let's go and celebrate in Yerushalayim together." And of course, you'll help me carry all stuff. Okay, so then it doesn't look as much like a payment. You just got to be careful about how you're phrasing things. Aval nosnim ze laze matnas chinam. What you can always do. So while you cannot do trade or payments with Maaser Sheni, what you can do is give somebody a free gift. Say, oh, here's some Maaser Sheni. Would you like? Okay. Mishnah Beis, ein lokhin tshuma bekesef Maaser Sheni, mipnei shehu mema'et b'achilaso, Rabbi Shimon Matir. Okay. A Kohen also has Maaser Sheni, and he comes to Yerushalayim and he sees that there's truma on sale. So, well, hey, why not? I mean, it's edible. I can eat it, and I'm tahor anyway, which I have to be for Maaser Sheni anyway. So what's the problem? Let me spend my money on truma, cheaper. And the Mishnah says you're not allowed to do that, because now Maaser Sheni was previously allowed to be eaten by anyone, by even Israelim, and now you're making this Maaser Sheni so that only Kohanim are allowed to eat it. Rabbi Shimon is not choshesh for this. He said that's perfectly fine, and the halacha follows the Tanakama. Um, the Amar Lahim Rabbi Shimon. So that Rabbi Shimon argues his point. He says, "Ma im hekel bezivche shlamim." You're allowed to spend your money on shlamim, and shlamim has got a time limit. Okay, and it can come to pigul. Shlamim could be made puzzle because you've had a bad thought about what time you're going to finish it. And nosar, and if you leave it over the time, it'll also become puzzle. And tame. Okay, so tame is we just bring tame because of pigul and nosar because tame is applicable to Maaser Sheni as well. Um, Lo nekel b'truma. So why can't we be why can't we be lenient with truma if we're allowing you to spend your money on shlamim? Because truma doesn't have a time limit. You can eat truma for the next year if you want. Okay. Amru lo ma'im hekel b'zivchei shlamim. No, no, we're being mekel with zivchei shlamim shehein mutarim l'zarim, but because they are edible by Israelim. Okay. Nakel b'truma shehi asur l'zarim. Why should we be makel with truma, which is only edible for kohanim? And this is the halacha that you cannot spend your Maaser Sheni money on truma. It has to be left edible for all Israelim. Okay, and that's it. Back to Masras.
Watch this. Okay. Hey, Yalav. If one uproots seedlings from his own and plants them in his own, he is exempt. If he brought them while attached to the ground, he is exempt. If he gathered in order to send them to his fellow, he is exempt. Rav Eliezer ben Azareh says, if the like of them is sold in the street, they're liable. If one uproots turnips and radishes from his own and plants them in his own for seed, he's liable because that is their threshing floor. When onions strike roots in the upper story, they become clean from uncleanliness. If debris fell on them and they are uncovered, they are as if planted in the field. A person may not sell his produce once it has reached the tithing season to someone to whom is not trustworthy in regard to Maaser, nor in the seventh year. Use someone who is not trustworthy in regard to the seventh year. But if it ripened, he may take the ripe ones and sell the rest. Okay.
Hey,
Truma.
Trumos.
Here we go. Hey, Vav. If a saw of truma fell into less than 100, render it meduma, and some of its meduma fell into another place. Rav Eliezer says it renders meduma as one's definite truma. But the sages say that meduma renders meduma only proportionately, and the leaven renders leaven only proportionately, and drawn water renders the mikvah unfit until only proportionately. If a saw of truma fell into 100, and one lifted it out, and another fell in, and he lifted it out, and another fell in, it is permitted until the truma exceeds the coolant. And if a saw of truma fell into 100, and before one could lift it out, another fell in, it is forbidden. Reb Shimon permits this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If they are trusted concerning Lekech and Peah in their season and concerning Maaser Ani during their entire year, and the son of a Levite is always trusted, and they are trusted only concerning things that people are accustomed to give them. They are trusted concerning wheat, but they're not trusted concerning flour or bread. They are trusted concerning the sarah of rice, but they are not trusted concerning it either raw or cooked. They are trusted concerning beans, but they are not trusted concerning pounded beans, either raw or cooked. They are trusted concerning oil when they say that it is of Maaser Ani, but they are not trusted when they say it is of Nikla olives. They are trusted concerning raw greaves, but they're not trusted when they are cooked. And unless he has a small quantity for it is the custom of the household to take out from the stew pot. That's it.
hey.
Nagayim. Okay. Daled. Two hairs that are turning black at the root and white at the top are tahor. That is, they are not symptoms of tumah. If they are turning white at the root and black at the top, they are tameh. How much of the hair must be white? Rav Meir says any amount. Rav Shimon says long enough to be cut with a pair of scissors. If it is one hair that splits so that it appears to be two hairs, it's tahor. A snow white nigger that has white hair or black hair is tameh, and we are not concerned that the black hair reduces the size of the becheres until it is too small to become tameh because the hair does not have any substance thickness. A Maharis of the size of a gris has a strip of a nega extending from it, and if the strip is 2 hairs wide, it connects the Bahar to white hair or to the mansion, but not to a section of skin, living skin. Two Baharas have a strip of nega concerning them. If the strip is 2 hairs wide, they combine, and if not, they do not combine. Baharas the size of a gris contains living skin the size of a lentil, and on the living skin there is a white hair. If the healthy skin disappeared, the Baharas is tummy because of the white hair. If the white hair fell out, the Baharis is tummy because of living skin. Rabbi Shimon says because considered a tar because the Baharis did not cause the hair to change color. A Baharis and a living skin it contains, it can together equal the size of a gris, and there is a white hair inside the Baharis. If the living skin disappeared, it is tummy because of the white hair. If the white hair fell out, it is tummy because of the living skin. Reb Shimon considers it tar because the hair was not changed by a Baharis the size of a grit. However, he agrees that if it is a riff of nega where the white hair grows, it is tummy. Okay, and we're to Avos. Avos. Okay, base Tedvav. He used to say, "You are not required to complete the task. You are not free to withdraw from it. You have misstudied my Torah, they give you great reward. If your employer can be relied upon you to pay the wage of your labor, but be aware that the reward of the righteous will be given in the world to come." Akiva ben Machal says, "Consider 3 things and you will not come into the grip of sin. Know whence you came, know where you go, and before whom you are destined to give judgment and accounting. Whence you came, from a future drop. Whither you go, to a place of dust, worms, and maggots. And before whom you are destined to give judgment and accounting before the King who reigns over kings, the Holy One, blessed is He." Reb Chananya, the deputy Kohen Gadol, says, "Pray for the welfare of the government because if the people did not fear it, a person would follow his fellow slave, fellow
Alive.
alive." Reb Chanya ben Tadrin says, "When 2 people are sitting together and there are no words of Torah between them, there's a session of scorners, as it is stated. In the sessions of scorners he did not sit, but 2 who are sitting together and there are words of Torah between them, the divine presence dwells between them. As it is stated, those who fear Hashem spoke to each other, and Hashem listened and heard, and a book of remembrance was written before him for those who fear Hashem and give thought to his name. I only know 2. From where do we know that even one person who sits and occupies himself with Torah, that the Holy One, blessed is He, determines a reward for him? As it is stated, let one sit in solitude and whisper, for he has taken a reward for it. Reb
Okay.
Shimon says,
That's
that's
good.
it.
Yeah. And
And we're almost. Okay. Yud Zion. A boy 9 years old, one day old, has cohabitated with his Yoma, and then his brother, 9 years and one day old, also cohabitated with her, it disqualified her to him. Reb Shimon says he did not disqualify her. A boy 9 years and one day old who had cohabitated with his Yoma and then cohabitated with her co-wife, he has disqualified them to himself. And Reb Shimon says he did not disqualify. If a boy 9 years old and one day cohabitated with his Yavama and then died, he performs Kalitza, but may not be taken in Yubam. And if he married a woman and then died, she is exempt. A boy 9 years old and one day old who cohabitated with his Yama and then, after reaching adulthood, he married another woman and died. And if he was not intimate with the first one after reaching adulthood, the first one performs Kalitza, but may not be taken in Yubam. While the second one may perform either perform Kalitza or be taken in Yibum. Reb Shimon says he may perform Yibum with whoever he prefers and must then perform Kalitza with the other one. It is the same whether he is age 9-year-old one day and age 20 and has not grown 2 hairs. Okay.
okay. And that's it.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Where I am. Okay. Check this off.